And joining me now to share some fresh news in the space is Luz Corona, editor at Campaign US. Luz, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Never a shortage of things to talk about in this space, especially on the first day of spring. I know there's a lot of change in the air, and change in terms of a rebranding, new launch, if you will, for what you're up to. What more can you tell us?
I can tell you a lot because we have a lot going on. So today we relaunched our site, Campaign, for a more seamless user experience. It mimics, the traditional newspaper format, but very digestible, clean. Hats off to the UK, creative team. They really did a beautiful job. And to commemorate the occasion, we launched a big editorial feature called State of the Nation. And what we did is we spoke to C-suite execs in the ad industry and did a kind of a temperature check, how all the changes going on in the air. I don't have to be specific, we all know, but specifically under the new administration, how is this impacting the ad industry? The responses were really incredible. We were actually surprised because there's kind of been a little bit hesitation in the industry to really speak out about these things. But we spoke to C-suite execs in ad agencies, big and small.
Yes.
And they cited, economic turmoil, cultural division, AI, how we can incorporate it effectively. There's a lot going on right now for the industry.
Now, how is the industry navigating that? Are these trends, temperature checks that they're taking note of, or are they starting to see a tangible impact?
So I think everyone's still figuring it out. First, there's kind of even hesitation about speaking out for fear of retribution, whether this administration will, we're not sure about the checks and balances are kind of up in the air, and this industry specifically could really be affected here and likely will be. So people are figuring it out. What's going on is these major brands are going to ad agencies and asking them for advice. How do we talk about DEI? Do we talk about DEI, sustainability? How do we handle these budget cuts, or that's for the ad agencies. So a lot up in the air right now.
And how does the rebrand of the site that you work with coincide with what is changing in this environment?
Yeah, I think, our readers are looking for those resources, right? They're looking for the information in a digestible way. So even just creating this seamless user experience with the top headlines they need to know, that's what we're really aiming for here. And what we're doing is there's essentially even two homepages where there's a homepage with premium content and reporting that could help navigate these times.
Let's talk about something fun. March Madness kicking off this week. We got March Madness, the first day of spring, your rebrand as well, and the Campaign Cup. This sounds pretty fun. What more can you tell us?
Yes. So to commemorate the launch of March Madness, we launched Campaign Cup, which is a March Madness bracket style competition to determine the best ad of the 21st century.
Wow.
Yes.
And what were the findings?
Oh my goodness. So round one is still going on and it ends Sunday night, but there are some ties out there. But what's really cool is seeing a spot from like 2003, a Reebok spot, 2003, go against like a 2013 spot, a Super Bowl spot, and take over. I'm gonna say it's leading right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of fun there.
We also have to talk about Cannes because that's around the corner, right? That's going to be early May.
Yep.
And what are our expectations, your expectations for that particular global event?
Yeah. So I will say, candidly, it's my first time there this year. But what I can expect, a lot of conversations still, almost a continuation of what is being discussed in State of the Nation. I think marketers are going to look to each other to see how they're navigating these choppy waters. And the state of creativity, especially now.
Yeah. I want to talk more about that. You mentioned creatives, obviously chief marketing officers, platforms, they're all going to be there. How do all of these different groups work together at Cannes to really create change?
I think discussing the challenges is really important, especially right now, people aren't really talking about it. So I think the best part about Cannes, from my understanding, is you kind of get to see these case studies, the people taking the awards on stage, why they're winning, how they did it. So really it's just a time of learning, relationship building, and just everyone just kind of in it together.
Yes. So it's First day of spring, as we mentioned, you
Yes.
have a new campaign. Any other campaign cup contenders you can tell us about as we see people watch their own brackets play out
Yes.
for March Madness?
Yeah, so if you're asking me my favorite children, I could tell you on the
Yes.
ads.
That's what we're asking.
Yes. So, you'll see a spot like the Ted Lasso spot that NBC put out years ago. Fan,
And
right?
season 4 is coming to Apple TV, so that's some good timing too for a campaign cup pick.
It is totally intentional, totally. No, but that's a contender there. We have the Old Spice guy, that's a classic. We have the Dos Equis, the most interesting man in the world. Just kind of these really cultural moment ads that broke through and shaped the culture a little bit. Yeah, so those are some of the big contenders. It's a Tide ad with David Harbour. But you also see some old ones, like RoboDog by Kia. Of course, we had to put the insurance on there, like Flo from Progressive, Jake from State Farm, the OG.
Yep.
So those are all the big ones on there.
Those are some good ones indeed, Luz. We hope you'll come back and
Thank you.
check in with us on the state of the nation for the advertising space throughout the year and certainly around Cannes. That's Luz Corona. She's an editor at Campaign US.